Welcome back to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. We have a major cold blast that will be moving through the country this weekend, bringing temperatures 30 degrees below normal. We'll also be looking ahead to your Halloween forecast and the tropical weather update later on in today's video. If you like detailed weather breakdowns on North America and the tropics, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below, and it's free. It's absolutely free to do. Just hit the subscribe button and you get detailed weather breakdowns right here on this channel. Also, be sure to press the thumbs up button to help get this information passed along to more and more people, and I definitely appreciate it. So looking at the temperatures this morning, it is a very strong cold front moving through the Midwest and the southern plains as of this morning. Behind the front, we got some Arctic air to talk about, and this is also due to the snowpack as well. We're actually waking up to temperatures below zero, in the single digits below zero, into central Montana this morning. We got teens and even single digits above zero for low temperatures across the western Dakotas, down into Wyoming here, into western Nebraska, even northern Colorado and northern Utah as well. So this cold air is spreading out far and wide, and it's only going to spread a little bit further off to the east over the next several days. But look at these temperatures waking up this morning from Detroit all the way back through the Chicagoland area, St. Louis, Dallas, Fort Worth, the Shreveport region. 60s and low 70s this morning. It does not get much better than that for a fall morning from the Midwest all the way down to the southern plains. And looking over the past 48 hours, the reason for the real cold air across Montana there below zero is due to that snowpack. We have lots of snow on the ground across those regions, several inches, and even areas over a foot of snowfall on the ground at this current time. So that is definitely lending a hand to those colder temperatures as you walk out the door there into Montana, the Dakotas, and down into Wyoming here this morning. Looking at the precipitation map this afternoon, it does look like the snowfall line begins to move a little bit further off there toward the north, so we start to see that across portions of southern Canada, from southern Saskatchewan, southern Manitoba into central and northern Ontario. The rain line is going to be far north as well, north of the international border, but there's the cold front extending down from that low pressure system by around the Lake Superior region, down through the UP of Michigan, through Wisconsin, Illinois, Missouri, all the way down into the Rio Grande Valley here as we go through this afternoon. And look at the temperatures crashing behind that front. We have temperatures well below normal, spilling into Kansas, getting into Iowa, northwestern Missouri, and even western Wisconsin. And temperatures will be crashing from west to east as this cold front pulls through the Midwest and the Ohio Valley today. So your high temperature actually across the Midwest is likely this morning, as temperatures will be crashing behind that cold front through the afternoon. So if you go to work and it's warm, you may not come back from work and it's warm. It might be much colder as you come back from work or get out of school later today. And then as we go through Sunday, look at the cold air. It starts to move even further to the south into North Texas, into the Little Rock region, up here in toward Memphis, and then down toward Lexington, Kentucky, the Cincinnati region. That's where that cold air is going to be spilling into. A little bit of some warm air ahead of that into the southeast on Sunday, but even that will be coming to an end as we go into early next week. So looking at that freezing line as we go into Saturday morning this weekend, this is tomorrow morning, it gets further to the south here, approaching portions of the panhandle of Oklahoma, back toward the Garden City area there into Kansas, Wichita, the Wichita region, Kansas City, getting over there toward the Quad Cities region in Iowa, and then all the way up toward Green Bay and Milwaukee. That's where that freezing line will be for your Saturday morning. And another day will be starting with below zero low temperatures up there into portions of the Montana region, getting in there towards northern portions of Wyoming and the western Dakotas as well. And then watching on Sunday, that freezing line just shifts ever so slightly further off to the south and east, getting down into the Amarillo region, Lubbock, down into Oklahoma City, Lawton, up there towards Tulsa, St. Louis getting in on that freezing line, also Indianapolis, and getting very close to Detroit for your Sunday morning, while we're hanging on to some of that mild air across the southeast ahead of that front on Sunday morning. Here's the climatological date of your average first freeze of 32 degrees Fahrenheit or colder, and you can see it's right on par for this time of year, maybe about a week ahead of time across areas there into Oklahoma, North Texas, and the deep south, where we usually see November 1st through the 10th and even November 11th through the 20th time frame for that average first freeze of 32 degrees Fahrenheit or colder. Looks like it's going to come in about a week or two ahead of time. So not too much ahead of time, but it will be a shock to the system after seeing this warmer air here this morning. Now let's look ahead to your Halloween forecast here, because it looks interesting as well. Waking up on Tuesday morning for Halloween on the 31st of the month, you can see that freezing line gets even further to the south. You can see approaching the Waco region, Shreveport, down there toward Jackson, Mississippi, Atlanta, not too much above freezing. We're only at 39, 40 degrees there for your Halloween morning, and then up into the northeast as well. And a lot of the country will be waking up to temperatures Tuesday morning into the single digits and teens, even some 20s out there. So very cold to start your Tuesday morning on Halloween. And we're only going to be recovering into the 20s up there into the northern plains and upper Midwest, and then 30s and 40s and even some 50s down there to the south. So it's going to be a crisp fall day for your Tuesday afternoon for Halloween. So if you're going trick-or-treating Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening, make sure to bundle up, because it will be chilly out there, especially with some of that northwesterly winds, breezy out there across the Midwest with those cooler temperatures. Here's the Tuesday evening precipitation map, and you can see high pressure is in control, and it is a strong high pressure system at a 1,034 millibar high pressure there. So that is going to be in firm control across Kansas and much of the country as we go into Tuesday evening. The only area to talk about for precipitation potential will be near the Great Lakes region, and then across the southeast as that cold front continues to spill down towards Florida and the East Coast. And even that won't be that big of a deal. You can see the precipitation amounts on Tuesday will not be that impressive. If you get under a more of a light to moderate rain shower into the Carolinas or Virginia, I suppose you could see up to 1/4 of an inch of rain for a time Tuesday evening, Tuesday night. But other than that, we're not really seeing a widespread washout anywhere across the map. So very nice across the United States for trick-or-treating, so make sure you get out and do that. But long-range forecast heading into early November, we stick around with the cooler temperatures for the eastern half of the country for the first at least 5 days of November. But there you have it. Across the West, it's a different story. We start to warm up there from Seattle down there toward the Eugene and Portland region, down towards Sacramento. It gets very warm for the first half there of that first week of November. And then as we go through that time frame as well, the precipitation starts to quiet down. We start to see drier skies across the majority of the country. The only active weather we're really talking about here for the first 5 days of November will be down into Florida, coastal Georgia, and the coastal Carolinas, or then back up across the West Coast and the Pacific Northwest. Places again like Seattle, Eugene, the Portland region, down toward Medford, and then all the way down toward the Sacramento region could be a little bit more of a wet go of it for the first 5 days of the month of November. Then some changes arise as we get towards next weekend. A week from today and tomorrow, we start to see changes again as we have this topsy-turvy forecast where we have the cold weather leaving, and then another brief warm-up will be on the way, and this will spread from the west into the central United States, getting in toward that 8th, 9th, even 10th time frame there of November, and we'll start to see some warmer temperatures there. But also the active weather will still remain across the west and the Pacific Northwest and near the East Coast and the Southeast Coast as we go through that 10th time frame. And you can see overall pretty dry across the south and the southern plains going through that time frame. And just previewing those temperatures, folks, as we go in from a week from today, this is November 3rd, that brief warm-up will be formidable. We're talking early November, and we're back into the 50s and 60s. We could be talking 63 in Des Moines, 60 on the Chicago lakefront, 56 in Green Bay, 51 over there in towards the Detroit region, 63 in Indianapolis, and perhaps 70 there into Nashville. Nashville, so very warm there as we go into Friday next week and even into Friday night. These are overnight lows into November 3rd. And if this comes to fruition, 40 degrees is not too bad for early November standards. So that is definitely something that is an anomaly for this time of year. And then that will lead to, again, another mild day for Saturday next weekend with temperatures back into the 50s, 60s, and 70s for the eastern United States. There is some cool air that comes in behind that with another front later next weekend, but it does not look as strong or as potent as this cold front that we're seeing this current weekend. So that is some news there. Now turning to the tropical update for you folks, we are keeping an eye on the central and western Caribbean, our friends down here into Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, Cuba, and then down here into portions of the Central Americas, as we do have a 30% chance of development potential over the next 7 days from the National Hurricane Center outlining that. And looking at the climatology for the Atlantic hurricane season, we're still in the hurricane season through the rest of October, through the entirety of the month of November, all the way through December 1st at least. So we still have a ways to go, at least a few more weeks for the hurricane season there in the Atlantic. And some of the ensemble members are starting to pick up on a system with a low pressure starting to develop here somewhere down into the western or central Caribbean, the middle and late portion of next week. This is on the EPS, the European ensemble guidance, starting to pick up on that, and also the GEFS ensemble members. This is your American guidance, and you can see roughly the same area across the central and western Caribbean. So right now it's just a wait and see. It is only a 30% chance of development. We will keep tracking this for you through the next several days to keep you updated. But if anything gets going down here, it's well above normal. The sea surface temperature anomalies are well above normal for this time of year, as it has been all hurricane season long. So obviously this will be a concern if we start to see a tropical depression or a tropical storm get going. The concern will be how long will it be over the waters here and all that. So we'll continue to watch that moving forward. Again, if you like detailed weather breakdowns on North America and the tropics, this is the channel for you. It's free to subscribe, so make sure to subscribe down below. Press the thumbs up button. That's the like button if you did like today's video. Share this video with friends, family, and on social media, whether it's on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, etc. I do appreciate that very much so as well, and I hope everybody has a great weekend out there.